Alright, Excalibur fans, man, we are back again. Excalibur Miniature Wargaming, and table for tonight's game. Before I get to that, though, we have some really cool announcements here. So, I just checked my subscriber thing. I think I'm at 49 now. And we have the legendary Dan Duback has subscribed to our little tiny station that, honestly, nobody cares about. Hey, hats off to Dan for that, because he does have one of the, in my opinion, I think, the best like Star Wars Legion moniker like on YouTube. So anyways, I digress. Thanks Danny boy for coming by, and we'll get to tonight's game. We've got Rapid Reinforcements, Breakthrough, and the Long March. Armies tonight. Let's go through them real quick. So, got the Empire with our Emperor as our general, the lamest character in all of Star Wars. Got some guards with him. We've got 4 Stormtrooper squads. The other ones over here, we're playing Rapid Reinforcements tonight. They've elected to put these guys over here in reserve. And of course, we've got a totally loaded out ATST with just about everything on it. General Weiss will be driving that bad boy. The Emperor's got Force Barrier, Force Choke, and Force Reflexes for some dodge. And that's pretty much it for those guys, coming in at 799 points, making them the blue player. And the Shadow Collective, which is one of my favorite factions. We have the usual 800 points worth of them, the same ones you saw a few battle reports ago. We've got 4 Mandalorian Super Troopers. These guys had recon, that allowed them to get a little further up. And boom, boom over here. Saxon leading the charge, and we've got, of course, the Maul man over there. They've elected to leave off the board both the Black Suns and the Pikes, and we'll see how that goes as time progresses. There it is, folks. Board. Terrain was off of Etsy, the big AT, the AT-AT there. I don't remember the store. I will try to put that in the description one of these days when I think about it. And I guess that's about all there is to say. Let's just get into it. So start of round 1, pinned down for the Empire, standing orders for Shadow Collective. Let's get it going, man. The Empire wasted no time getting that big boy out and activated and going. And man, it is punch time. Alright, so command phase round 1. Saxon had one order to give. He gave it to his buddy the Maul over there. And the Emperor, playing that card, he only has 1 heavy in the game. So we gave it to the ATST over there. And let's get this thing going, man. So Empire activated the big ATST. It moved. It took a shot. Now, it wasn't in range of anything for most of its weapons. And it had to take a shot at the Maul with a face-up order token because they want to shuffle this order token back into the pool at the end of the activation. So they fired the mortars at the Maul. Maul blocked the 1 hit. It did land, but it did lay down through suppression on the Maul, and that therefore ending its activation. So Shadow Collective up next. The Maul man decides to get 2 move actions and gets a dodge token because, remember, he has 3 actions because he's wounded. And that's how he ends it, man. Empire is up next. They went to the stack, pulled out some Stormtrooper Squad 3. They did double move action from back here, putting them right to there and ending their activation. So Shadow Collective activated next. They had their Mandalorians Squad 1. They were behind here. They just jumped over to here, and they had a clear line of sight. The Stormtroopers right over there. They took the shot. They scored 4 regular hits. There was no cover granted because it's like a clear line of sight there. And they only blocked 1, so they took 3 wounds on that in suppression. And so job well done for these Mandalorians and their activation. So Empire activated next, and it actually pulled the AT, it pulled the heavy out of there from its stack because remember last this round, according to the card, when they attack a unit with a face-up order token at the end of the activation, they can recycle this back into stack, and they did that. That's how it came up again. So they moved, and they did attack Squad 2 of the Mandalorians again, and you're not going to believe this. They rolled absolutely hard. They concentrated all their firepower, both range 4 weapons on them. Only got a 1 hit and a crit. Of course, the Mandalorians blocked the crit because the hit was blocked by the cover. It did lay down 2 suppression on them, which I guess is okay, but wow, what an absolute waste of an activation. So the Shadow Collective activated next. They pulled one of the trooper units, which was the Pikes set aside. They dropped in right here beyond range 2 of all the enemy units. And of course, they automatically start with a face down order token, ending their activation. Empire activates next. Stormtrooper Squad 1, which was behind here, has gone ahead, double move action to behind this crashed foot of the AT-AT, ending their activation. So Shadow Collective activates next. They drew out a trooper unit, which was their reserve unit, and of course their Sons of Anarchy dropped in right back here, outside of range 2 of all these enemy units, ending the activation. So Empire strikes back. They activated, went back to the stack. They activated Squad 2 Stormtroopers who were over here. Double move action puts them there behind the AT-ST. So right back to the Shadow Collective, pulled out a stack of Mandos, double move action, put them behind some cover here, ending their activation. So Empire, back to the stack, pulled out a trooper unit, which put their reserve unit on the board, range 2 away from the nearest enemy units here, dropping them right there and ending their activation. So up next for the Shadow Collective, and guys, I am aware that they get their independent aim. I don't always show it because sometimes they don't really do anything with it, depending on where they are. But I put it out there to make sure you guys know everybody's getting it, who gets it. So they moved and they decided to take a shot with their jetpack rockets over here, which is range 4, and that aim token helped out because they did score. They put 2 wounds on it, and ending their activation. So the Emperor finally activates. Now I was too lazy. He's primed. I didn't actually paint him yet. So what he did was he used his first action to move those stormtroopers who were in deep trouble over to there, and then just did a move action putting him to there and ending his activation. So Gar Saxon activates next. He was over there. Move action puts him there. He didn't rally that off. He takes a shot with his jetpack rockets at the AT-ST. He scored 2 crits on that. They blocked one of them, so 1 wound goes through, making that total 3 down on the AT-ST, and then he will definitely end his activation. So the Scout Troopers went next. They gave themselves an aim token, and they went ahead and took a shot at these Mandalorians over here. They were just in range 2. They could have split their fire with their sniper, who's got a range 5 weapon, but decided no, put all the dice in there and try to go with these guys over here. They did roll, there was cover 2 in between here for this piece of terrain. Sharpshooter knocked it down to cover 1. They had Pierce in the roll, so let's see, it was, they rolled with the cover, minus the cover. It was 3 hits actually going through. These guys actually blocked 3 of them, but this did have Pierce in it, and so it did take on a wound. So 1 guy does come off, and a suppression, and that's how it ended. So Shadow Collective activates their Squad 2 Mandalorians over here, and they had 3 suppression on them. They did on the rally. They actually removed 2 of them, which was great luck for them. Gave them 2 actions, gave himself an aim token, and used their jetpack rockets, who just in range 4 of this AT-ST. It was pretty amazing attack. With the aim token, they didn't even need it because it rolled so well. And then with the conversions, of course, as you guys know, we had critical 1 on the jetpack rockets and impact 1. So bottom line here was 2 more wounds went on the AT-ST, and that will end their activation. So Empire's last activation for round 1 was the Imperial Guards over here. Double move action puts them over there, and that's kind of where they end up. So the end of round 1 activation phase, right before the cleanup phase, and here is how the board kind of sits at the moment. The Mandos have been doing, the Super Mandalorians have been doing a great job with the jetpack rockets of putting 5 wounds on this AT-ST. And I gotta be honest with you, the AT-ST really didn't do what it really should have done this round. And just a combination of of circumstance and some bad luck. It didn't really put out much damage out here. And it did cycle, the card was great. It gave it 2 activations this round because of the card effects, but again, it just didn't take advantage of them just because of circumstance and dice rolls. And the board kind of sits this way, so that the AT-ST is in kind of deep trouble here. But on the flip side of that, the Mandos have, let's see, they've had 2 squads exhaust their jetpack rockets, and they all had them. And then, of course, Gar Saxon also used his. He'll have to use a recovery action next round if he wants to get that back. So yeah, state of the board right now, where it's looking, and of course the Emperor's lagging behind because he only moves slow, and that's just the way that it is. All right, let's clean this up and go on to round 2. So start of round 2, we got the Empire playing Entire Legion. This is a pretty devastating card. And then you got a fight of the day for the Shadow Collective. Basically, Saxon can't issue orders. He only issues them within range 1, but he gives out some dodge tokens, it looks like, and they get outmaneuver this turn. So yeah, not bad. And let's go to the command phase. So, giving out the orders here in the command phase. Saxon only had range 1 to work with. It left him with the Sons of Anarchy and, of course, the Mandos over here, the Mando Commandos. They all got dodge tokens per the card. And then, of course, the Empire, all eligible units in range 1 to 3 of Palpatine. Well, that's everybody. So everybody's got a face-up order token. This is going to shape up to be a big round, big offensive push by the Empire. And the Shadow Collective probably do what they do best and kind of play a little defense here. So Shadow Collective's up first here in the activation phase. Saxon did a recover action to get back his jetpack rockets. And of course fired. And he did manage to put 2 wounds on this thing for a total now of 7. Yeah, so a good activation for him. And that will definitely end his activation. And man, his Z3Xs are pretty powerful, man. Impact 2, I mean, yeah, crazy. Anyways, he's done. Okay, the Empire is seeing the writing on the wall with the ATST having so many wounds on it, did a move action, and now it's in range to do more stuff with its potential arsenal force. So the first thing it's going to split its attacks up a little bit here. So they're going to launch the mortar at those Mandalorians over there. They completely whiffed and drew 3 blanks on their white attack dice. But it is suppressive, so they still got a suppression token laid down on them. And now we're going to resolve the rest of the attack. So splitting up the attack pool. Again, the mortar's fired over there, only dropping down 1 suppression. So he wanted to pick something in range 2 to utilize more weapons in the attack pool. So he got Arsenal 4. He decided to use for the ATST, the twin blaster cannon and the grenade launcher, which kind of left him anything at range 1 to 2, which really was kind of Saxon. So they launched all that at him, and after it was all said and done, they did get Saxon spent one of his dodge tokens to cancel out a hit. So 3 hits go through. Saxon blocks all of them, and that's just kind of how it ends. He will pick up a suppression though on that. And that kind of ends the ATST's activation. I gotta tell you, man, it's kind of disappointing. I mean, it really isn't getting the damage out there I thought it would get. I mean, it's laying down some suppression, which I guess is okay, but yeah, disappointing to say the least for the ATST this game. So Squad 3 Mandalorians activated next for Shadow Collective. Now they get independent aim, give them a free aim token. They gave themselves a free dodge. And they went ahead and launched their jetpack rockets at the ATST, which was just in range 4, and did pretty well. So with their spending their aim token, I think it was a total of all conversions. When it was all said and done, this would have, the ATST probably would have gotten some cover under normal circumstances, but with this thing being almost half the height of the ATST, but blast is in their keyword for the jetpack rockets, ignoring the cover, so, and converting all of the stuff from the jetpack rockets. They had a blast, a critical 1, impact 1, and by the time we did all that, the end result was 3 more wounds being put on the ATST, thereby killing it. And of course, ending their activation. Their second action was a dodge token. They're done. And then this thing is now dead. So our scout troopers had to waste an action by shuffling up to get in base-to-base contact with that piece of terrain. And they wanted to take an open field shot at these Mandos who were out in the open. They put everything in the attack pool, including the sniper. And they did get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total hits, 2 of those being crits. The Mandos blocked 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 wounds will go through and killing Squad 1 of the Mandos, which is significant because they still had their jetpack rockets. So they are gone before they ever get a chance to use them. So Shadow Collective, Squad 2 Mandalorians, they will activate. They just give themselves, they get independent aim already. So that was free. They do a standby, I guess, and give themselves maybe a dodge too. So for the Emperor activates next. He went ahead and did a move action. He has force reflexes, giving him this one, and then he gave himself a dodge with the other action, therefore ending his activation. So up next, Shadow Collective activated the Pikes, They were over here. Double move action puts them to there. They got that free dodge from their keyword and ending their activation. So Empire was up next. They activated Squad 1 Stormtroopers who were over here hiding behind this terrain piece. Double move action puts them behind this barricade and trying to size up these pikes for the future. Okay, so our Super Mandalorians up here, they were down over there. Did a move action, putting them there. Of course, they had this from the card, the command card, and that was their. They always get they get an aim when they were given an order back in the command phase. Those are there. So move, and they attack these Stormtroopers here out in the open with no cover. So they did roll pretty well, but the guards activated Guardian 2, so they took away 2 of the hits that would have gone to Stormtroopers over here, and they were able to block both of them. Rolling blocks for both those. Now the 2 crits that went through, the Stormtroopers blocked one of those crits, resulting in 1 guy being dead and a suppression. So that's how that kind of ended up. So Empire activates next. Stormtrooper Squad 2 moved from over here to over there behind that barricade. Double move action, ending their activation. So Shadow Collective pulled out the Maul. He was over here. He moved twice, and then he saber throwed. He did score 2 hits, but was blocked by the heavy cover. Landed a suppression on him, and then he force choked this poor guy to dead, and that's how he kind of ended it. Empire's up next. Stormtrooper Squad 4 activated. They were over here. Double move puts them to there. They were able to rally and remove that suppression off and give them the 2 actions they needed to get here, and that will end it. So Black Sun's activated next. They had name token. They decided to spend it, take a shot at the Stormtroopers over here. And basically what happened was they rolled, I think it was with re-rolls, precise, they rolled 2 hits and a crit, so of course the 2 hits bounced off, the crit went through, the Stormtroopers did not block it, so that's why this one guy got dead, and suppression laid down, and that's the end of their activation. Empire activated the Imperial Guards, and they were over there. They did double move action, putting them right here in base-to-base contact with the pikes. They knocked out 2 of them, and that will end their activation. Yeah, knocked out 2. And last activation for the Empire this round was a move action from here to here for the Squad 3 Stormtroopers, and they'll just end it there, thereby ending round 2. So we're about to start the cleanup phase at the end of round 2. Status of the board. Still a little early to declare a winner here, so we'll keep going. The Emperor, as always, is lagging like way behind. This long march is definitely a killer for the Emperor, man, moving slow. So we'll see how it goes. So to start round 3, we got Ambush for the Empire, and we got His Eminence for the Shadow Collective. So let's go see where the orders were given out to. Coming over here, Maul had to give 1 to himself. He also gave 1 to these guys who were in range 3 of him. The Emperor automatically gets to give 1 of these Imperial Guards every turn. And of course, there was one of the units they gave it to. They gave it to the Stormtroopers over here. Suppression was handed out to everybody within range 1 of Maul, which was Stormtroopers, Imperial Guards, and also the Pikes. And that's kind of how we're going to start this round. So first up is the Imperial Guard. They're going to go ahead and take a punch at the Pikes over here. They did. They scored 3 hits and a crit. Pikes, even with Danger Sense kicking in, because that suppression they got from being in range 1 of Maul, still only extra dice, only resulted in 1 block. So the Pikes are dead with the first action from the Guards. With their second action, they moved and just came up just short of base-to-base contact with the Maul, so that will end their activation. So Maul activated for the Shadow Collective. He just jumped right over base-to-base contact. That was his first action. Second action was he force choked. He did a recovery action, to get back force choke. Then he force choked one of these guys. Then he attacked with his lightsaber, and he scored, I think it was 1 crit, and he got 2 hits on that. Yeah, they blocked 1, so 2 more guys went down. So 3 are now dead, and that is how that ended up. So Empire answered back with Squad 2. Stormtroopers activating, taking a shot at these Mandos out in the open up there. They didn't do so well. They only scored, I think it was, even with their reroll for precise, it was, they got 2 hits out there, and of course the Mandos blocked both, but then a suppression down on them, and that's how it kind of ended. So Shadow Collective activated next. The Mandalorians, who were up here, Squad 4, double move action, put them in base-to-base contact with these Scout Troopers, tying them up. So hopefully their brothers over here can advance up the field. Stormtrooper Squad 4 activated next. They were up here, right there. They did a retreat action, and then they gave themselves a dodge there. And they also got a free dodge, I'm sorry, for our Mandos that were up here. They had the order token from the command phase, which gives them a free dodge where that came from. And that's the end of that. So Squad 3 Mandalorians activate next. Now they got a aim from independent aim, and then of course they gave themselves an aim for their first action, and their second action would be to take a shot at those guards right over there. So pretty pivotal attack here. Here's the dice box. They had the Mandos they had 2 surges from their cache from having an extra Mandalorian Super Commando in their unit. They spent both to convert these 2 surges to hits. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits total. You can see it blocked 4 of them. So 3 wounds go through. So it kills one of them and puts a wound on the other and another suppression for a total of 2 suppression, and that will definitely end their turn. So Stormtrooper Squad 3 activated, only 2 guys in the squad, but one's a DL trooper there. So the guy gives us an aim token, took a shot at the Black Suns. There was no cover given because they're in base-to-base contact with this terrain, but the Black Suns actually are not. So end result of all that was, with the rerolls, they were able to score a hit and a crit on these guys. They blocked 1, and this resulted in that guy being dead and suppression being laid down, and that's how it ends. So before we activate the next Shadow Collective's next activation, let's fix this over here. Maul did add Pierce too. I totally forgot to add that in. So really this guy is dead too, and they're all dead. So that's it. Maul wipes out that unit completely. So Black Suns went up next for the Shadow Collective. They failed their rally step. They only had 1 action to work with. So they moved from here to there, and that will end their activation. So Gar Saxon is up, then he does a recover action, and then he jetpack rockets these guys in the cover. The blast keyword, there's no cover given, so he got the red dice, 2 hits and a crit because he surges to crit, and that they totally whiffed. So 3 guys are dead and a suppression. So in this big dog pile here, the Scout Troopers activated next. They're melee combat with the Mandalorians. Rolled their black dice, 1, 2, 3 hits and a crit. The Mandos did have a dodge token take care of 1 of those hits, and then they rolled 2 blocks, so only 1 hit went through, causing a wound on this poor guy here. So Scout Troopers landed the first blow here in the trenches. So Squad 2 of the Mandalorians activated next. Did a double move action from over here, putting them in base-to-base contact with these Stormtroopers here. Can't attack, they only have 2 actions available to them, and that's how they'll end it. Okay, so Palpatine activated next. He did 1 move action, putting him there. Now, he had the dodge came from his Force Reflexes, which he had available as a free action. His other free action he did was his Force Choke at range 1. These guys, the Mandalorians, were at range 1. This guy got Force Choked. And now his last action he's going to do is he's going to go ahead and do his, whatever the thing is called, the Force Lightning on these poor souls over here. So Palpatine does do his energy or lightning blast on these guys. He rolled, I think it was, he had 2 hits, 2 crits. The 2 hits bounced off the cover. The 2 crits went through, and he has Pierce 2, so it doesn't matter what these guys would have rolled. They're out anyway. So he kills 2, lays down 2 more suppression because of it's suppressive, and that's how it is. So we are at the end, we're approaching the cleanup phase for round 3. And here's the status of the board right now, as you can kind of see it. Yeah. So the big story here was the Emperor finally got in the mix of things. Did some really big damage. Force choke over here. Killed 2 guys over there. Yeah. So, and of course Maul wiped out these guys over here. And so that's where we stand. All right, fight fans, get ready to rumble here. Round 4. Empire, and you will die, and of course, Zero Collective marked for elimination. The roll-off came. Empire won the roll-off, so they're going to get initiative, and boy, this is going to probably be a bloodbath. So, as you can see, Gar Saxon got the order for himself, plus 2 aim tokens. Palpatine got the order, plus the 4 observation tokens dropped on him, courtesy of Gar Saxon. And let's get ready to do this. All right, Emperor's New Groove he gets a free dodge from Force Reflexes. He does his Force Choke over here, killing that Mandalorian. He moves, and now he's going to go ahead and attack the Maul. Maul is just within range 2. of him for his Force Lightning. So the Emperor goes ahead. He goes ahead and launches the lightning bolts. There's cover here, so that negated 2 of the hits he got. With the surges, he had 2 crits there too. They went through, but Maul went ahead and blocked him. And of course, you can't use Pierce on Maul because Maul is immune to Pierce. So that's how that one ended. Well, you would think the Emperor's activation is over now, but it's quite not because of the card. He'll take a wound of suppression to attack the Maul again. So Palpatine fires it up again. This time, he hit 2 hits and 2 crits. The hits got blocked off. He surged to crits, so that's how he got the extra crit. Yeah, so it was 2 hits, 2 crits total. The 2 hits bounced off the cover. Maul blocked one of the crits, so wound goes through on Maul, and 2 more suppressions. So 1 for the hits, and obviously 1 because the shockwave force thing is suppressive. Palpatine's going to push his luck a little bit, takes another wound, another suppression, and do another attack. And he drops 2 more suppression on Maul and lands another wound on him. So I think he's going to stop right there. No sense in pushing this thing too far. He only has 5 total health, so he'll end it there. So Gar Saxon activated next. He did a move action, putting him to there. With the second action, he took a shot with his range 2 weapon at the Emperor. Emperor's immune to Pierce. So he rolled, with his re-rolls, he got 2 hits and 2 crits. There's no cover granted because it's a straight line shot there. The Emperor rolled. He only blocked 1 of them. 3 hits go through. He had 2 wounds on him because he got greedy against Maul. And now he has, he's got a dodge. He's got a dodge. He'll spend it now. He'll spend the dodge, cancel out 1 of those hits. So he blocked another one. So he actually takes 2 wounds on that attack. Wow, thank God the Emperor gave himself that dodge on his last action. It saved him. He has 1 health left from Gar's attack there. Even with the rerolls, he spent these, and he spent the dodge token. The observation wouldn't do Gar any good because he already got the best rolls he could get on that. So yeah, the Emperor was saved. Wow, he got 1 health left. So Stormtrooper Squad 3 activated next. They just took a shot over here at this lone black sun there. They scored a crit, 2 hits. He only blocked 1 of them, so he is now dead. And for their second action, they'll probably just do a move action behind the AT-AT. So Shadow Collective activated this Mandalorian who was in base-to-base contact with the Scout Troopers. He used both of his actions to disengage and jumped over this, put him right there. Scout Troopers activated next, throwing everything they got at the Maul, and it was enough to kill him. They did score, it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits, and Sharpshooter took this cover down to cover 1. So Maul blocked 1. He's dead. Oh, I forgot to mention, they did give themselves an aim token first before they took the shot on him. So Mandalorian Squad 2 went ahead and activated. They completely whiffed on their melee attack. They scored just 1 hit on all those dice. And of course, the Stormtroopers blocked it, so they took a dodge for their second action, and that's how they'll end it. So Squad 4, Stormtroopers double moved from there to there, ending their activation. So Mandalorians activate next. They did a move action coming out here to face down these Imperial Guards. They had an aim token from their independent aim. They spent that to get Lethal 1, which gave them Pierce 1. And end result here was they scored, didn't roll that great. They did score, I think, 2 hits and a crit, but unfortunately they only blocked 1, and the Pierce 1 killed that off. So they take on 3 wounds, and thereby killing these guards. So Stormtroopers Squad 2 activated next, melee combat, rolled their black dice. They gave themselves an aim token, which gets some rerolls. Hitting the crit was the end result. They blocked both of them. No, they blocked 1, and they had a dodge token to spend, so no wounds going through on the Mandalorians. So, cleanup phase approaching for round 4. Here's the stats of the board right now. You can kind of see where everything is. The Emperor is on his last legs there. The Scout Troopers have held up really well this game. We got a Mandalorian trying to slip by to the finish line, and we'll just see how it goes. Well, start of round 5. Empire's going with Give In to Your Anger, and of course we're going Victory or Death with Gar Saxon, the 2 troopers. Empire gets initiative, and orders have been given out. Of course, Gar Saxon, and he gets Mando's over there, and he can give it one out to these guys over there. He's going to put the order token out, and they all get aims per the card and outmaneuver this turn, spending dodge tokens to cancel crit results. Palpatine can also force them to activate a trooper unit instead. He doesn't want Gar activating, and that's where we stand. So, as you expect, Emperor decides to activate himself first. His last life anyways. He gets a shot at the Gar Saxon over there. He's impervious, so he gets extra attack dice for the Pierce 2 from the Shockwave. End result was 2 suppression being laid down and a wound on him. And then that was the first action. The dodge came from his force reflexes. He can't force choke anybody. He's not in line of sight. These guys are too far away. So he will do a pulling the strings. So pulling the strings allowed the Scout Troopers take a shot at Gar Saxon. They did score a hit and 2 crits. They have also the Scouts with their sniper. They have Pierce 1. So he rolled the extra dice for being impervious. He did manage to block 1, so that resulted in 2 more wounds going down on the suppression on him. And that will now officially end Palpatine's activation. So Gar Saxon activates next for the Shadow Collective. He's going to take a shot at the Emperor. He just needs to get 1 wound on him, and he does very easily, even with the dodge token. The Emperor is now dead. So luckily for Gar, I forgot to mention, he did, when he rallied, remove 2 suppressions. So he's actually got 2 actions available to him. That's the first one. The aim came from the card. So he'll probably move. And that will definitely end his activation. So Stormtrooper Squad 3 reactivate next, coming from over there. Double move action, put in there, make it a run for the enemy deployment zone. So Super Mandalorians went ahead. They were over here. Double move action put them in base-to-base contact. They can't attack, but they are tying up these Scout Troopers from really doing anything else, and that's how they'll end their activation. Double move action for Stormtrooper Squad 4 from over there to over here, and I believe they're in the enemy deployment zone, hopefully scoring a point at the end of the game. So our Mandalorians activated next. They were in base-to-base contact over here, but they just completely clubbed these guys to death over here. Look at this insane roll on the melee attack. Wow, no aim tokens or anything. So 1, 2, 3 crits and 2 hits. They obviously didn't block it. So they're dead. And the second action was to move, hopefully try to get down enemy deployment zone, and that's how they run it. So Scout Troopers activated next, man. Total slugfest the entire game, just in this trenches, just slugging it out with whoever comes their way. They did kill off one of the Mandalorians in their melee attack using an aim, and that was it. They're done. So Shadow Collective activates their last Mandalorian unit over here. He is the double move action and putting him right here to hopefully score these points into the game. So coming to the cleanup phase for round 5. Looks like the Mandalorian's got 1 guy in scoring position over here. The Empire's got a squad in scoring position over there, and everything else is kind of a crapshoot right now. I'm not sure if these guys can make it. Not sure if those guys can make it over there. This dog pile over here is still a mess. Gar Saxon's kind of out. I don't think he can get over here either. So, well, we'll take a look and see. 1 more round. Well, it doesn't happen very often. We are going to round 6, man. We're going all the way to the end here. Assault for the Empire and standing orders, because all I got left for the Shadow Collective. The orders have been given out. Our new commander is over here, Squad 3 Stormtroopers. He just had range 3 to give it to those scouts, and also for these guys over here for the 3 units. And of course, Gar decided to give it to his Mandos, who are right now duking it out with the Scout Troopers in the trenches there with their trench knives and their trench shovels and whatever else they can find. So Scout Troopers activated first, man. Took their punch, and it was a massive whiff, and the Mandos blocked it pretty easily, and they give themselves a dodge token for the second action, and that's how that will end. So Mandalorians are going to activate next. Going to stack. They're going to take a shot at these newly appointed, newly minted leaders over here, and they wow. I mean, this is insane. They basically just wiped them out. 4 hits, 2 crits. They didn't block enough here. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They blocked 3 of them. Not enough. They're dead. And with their second action, he puts them right there. I'm not sure if they're in range 3 of the finish line here. We'll see in a few minutes. Last of the Stormtroopers is move action. Put them over here, I guess, and that's where they're going to probably finish the game in the enemy deployment zone, and they are done. I went back to the stack. He'll just move. Make sure he's in deployment zone. He's done. So Shadow Collective goes up next because the Empire's got nobody left. Gar Saxon, well, he's going to move it. So Gar Saxon with the double move action, putting him right there. I think he's got it. We'll measure it in a minute. So last activation are the Mandos over here and duking it out over here, just for fun. We rolled it out, but they just took 1 damage, so 1 Scout Trooper goes down. That'll end that. That's tie game, folks. Only 1 guy made it in the deployment zone. Gar is just outside, and so are these guys. And over there, they're inside. That's 1-1, and that's how it ends. A total bloodbath. Almost nobody left on the field of battle. If we'd gone on maybe 7 or 8 more rounds, obviously I think the Shadow Collective would have won this one, but you know, it is what it is. So thanks for watching, guys. Great battle report tonight. I had a lot of fun doing it. Keep in mind I was going kind of fast in the summaries, so I might not mention like if somebody got their independent name or not, but I counted for all of them. But if you see anything else in there that I might have messed up, or you think I might have messed up, drop that in the comments. All right. Thanks for watching, man, and we'll see you on the next one.